Welcome, and in this video I'm going to talk through the steps behind how to raise your grade by 2 levels over the next 16 weeks before Biology A-Level Paper 1. It can really help your motivation if you understand why you're doing each step. So let's run through it. So, you should have your document now. I should have emailed it to you, or you should have got it from me in another way. And you're going to go through this. So today is day 1. The key principle behind this is you do it, you take action. The only way to raise your grade is to do more work. This is the structure behind doing that work. Okay, so welcome to day 1. The first thing you need to do, and I suggest you pause the video if you can do it and do it now. If not, you do it at the next available opportunity. So you're going to print the exam board specifications. I'll just use a couple examples here. The OCRA and the AQA one, they're the pages. Print them off, staple them, keep them wherever your workspace is. Once you've got them, this is what you're going to do. So now you're going to write down 3 times every day. You're going to work for 15 minutes. This is non-negotiable. So pick 3 times that cannot be disturbed. Tell your family, tell your friends. Say, you cannot disturb me. If you've only got one 45-minute block, do that. I prefer 3 15 minutes because you ever work for 45 minutes or just work for 15? 15 is much more manageable and you do it multiple times. Also, by doing it multiple times, you're more likely to build the habit later on. Now, once you've done that, now you're going to start at the beginning of the specification. No cheating. Now, there'll be parts of the specification you're going to go really quickly through, and there's some parts you're going to be going through really slowly. You might not even finish the specification yet, which is why we start at the beginning. Now, you've got the specification. Find whatever you are going to work from. You can use some of my workbooks, so you can download all of Module 2 if you're OCRA. If you go to my website, centretuition.com/free workbook, you can use that. I'll put the link in the description. Or you can use a textbook, doesn't matter. Whatever you got, as long as it's correct, use that. And you're going to then start actively recalling. And you need to be saying and writing. So a mini whiteboard works great, bit of paper, doesn't matter, as long as you are saying and writing. So, let's say this is the beginning, for instance, of the OCRA specification. And what you're going to do is you're going to start and you're going to work word by word. And word by word, you'll go, the use of microscopy to observe. Now, do you know how to observe? Do you know how to start on low power? How to adjust the fine and the coarse adjustment? Do you know you need to start on the microscope with a graticule, whatever? Do you know it? If you do know it, write out the steps. You first put the specimen on the stage. If you can't write it out by heart, you don't know it. So you get the textbook and you learn it. So you circle it if you don't know it. You highlight it if you do. You can use whatever system you want. That's just my suggested one. And by the end of that marking point, which might take you the whole of the 45 minutes, by the way, of one marking point, that's the principle here, is we're doing good work, not rush work. You might only get through a third of the whole specification before you paper on. You should do it all, but let's say you only get through a third. That is better than rushing the whole thing. Okay? You can turn up to the gym 100 times and not do anything. Or you can go to the gym 5 times and work really hard. You'll get more benefit from those 5 times. Okay, now as you're doing that, when you get to your circling, you're then going to create a list of what you don't know. You will use that at the beginning of your next revision session and you will start on that list. You'll highlight it, you'll tick it off just the same. So you might have a separate piece of paper that you're going to use and you're going to write down. And this is my hard list. This principle, I've seen thousands of students across different subjects get A's and A stars. I learned this from them. This is what they do. They create lists of things they really don't know. This forces you to work on stuff you don't know rather than just rewriting out notes of stuff that you do. This is harder than just rewriting notes, so do this. Then, once you've got your problem list, and if you still can't work it out yourself, you go to AI, you go to a tutor, you go to your teacher, you try and look up online, whatever. You figure that stuff out, then you highlight it, and then you move on. So you do it 3 times every day until your final exam. Every day, without fail. Every now and then, you'll have a day off, but the principle is every day. Okay, so that's how you revise. You actively recall stuff, however you want to do that. Flashcards, but as long as you're writing and saying, that's fine. Okay, now, the next thing you need to do alongside that is that's no good if you can't do exam questions. Now, you can learn exam technique, but the best way to do it is to just learn it and figure it out yourself. So the first thing you do is you get a past paper and you print it. This is really important. You're going to work on a real piece of paper, not on a screen. Print the past paper. It will then be there for you at your desk and you can remove digital devices. You then get the mark scheme alongside it. You then approach the question as if you've never done it before and as if it's a real exam. And you do one question at a time. So it might be 1A. Then you stop. You get the mark scheme and you mark it. You see where the marking points are. There's a YouTube linked video just here, and you can go to this. You can manually type it in or just search STEM tuition on YouTube and look for this video here, how I transform a student's grade through 3 small changes. Find that one. That will teach you how to use a mark scheme. So you mark it 1 point at a time, and again you add to your list or you make a flashcard on anything you don't understand. So you should fully understand everything on here. If you don't know what ORA in the normal heart ECG means, or reverse argument in a normal electrocardiogram, if you don't know what that means, you need to figure it out. You don't move on. Don't do next question. The principle is you're going to work everything out. You never move on until you know it. Don't move on. Okay, so that's an example of a real mark scheme that you're going to do. Okay, now you do that for 1 hour at a time. So you do exam papers for 1 hour, and you're going to pick any time that you want. You're going to do that twice a week. Then on either Saturday or a Sunday, the end of the week, you're going to then do a proper exam that you're going to maybe get a teacher to help you mark, or you should be good at marking pretty soon. And then you're going to find out what grade are you working at. And you're going to do that every day. The principle here is you're doing this every day. You only have 16 weeks or less if you're watching this video, so you've got to get there soon. Now, if this is not working, if you don't find that you're improving your grade, you're not doing enough work. It might not be fair that you're a slower learner. It might be not fair that it's taking you longer than everyone else. It doesn't matter. There's no little certificate on your exam paper that says, oh, this person didn't revise that much and still did well. It doesn't matter. And most people that do well revise more than they tell you that they do. They really do. And they've been doing it for years, and they've just built that time up over time. You've got to cram it into 16 weeks if you're not where you want to be. So then you double everything. If after the first 2 weeks you're not improving, you double everything. You then go to 6 hours of exam papers a week and 3 bouts of 30 minutes. Or you cannot, and you can get a rubbish grade. It's your choice. I'm just giving you the exact steps that I've seen students use. And this is me learning from the best students and seeing their behaviours rather than me just doing trial and error with students. Now, the good news is it doesn't matter if you're not 2 grades away. Particularly people, if you want an A star or an A, you're going to have to work super hard. And every minute you put in now, you will benefit for the rest of your life. Hope that was helpful. So if you still haven't got this guide, if you're just watching the YouTube video now, message me on any of my channels, Instagram, TikTok. You can even WhatsApp me and find my number as well. And I will DM you or I will email you this guide. But get to work. It's the only way to improve. Good luck in your exams, and put in the comments if you made any progress after the first 2 weeks.